I get that we won, but, like, was it just me or was that game boring as sin? Damn it, why'd you do that? I was playing pool with Bob Barker and Steve Irwin. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about game 29 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 2-1 in overtime over the Boston Bruins, and if it looks like I've been crying, I have not. I have been yawning constantly for the past 3 hours, because that was one of the games of all time. I can only imagine that with the last Rangers-Bruins game having 11 total goals, both teams decided, probably shouldn't do that whole let the other team run rampant offensively thing, and they didn't. Both teams, partially from the fact that it was the second half of back-to-backs with travel, again, for both teams, played a very solid defensive game and just kind of didn't allow any scoring chances for the other team. I understand that Boston scored a goal and the Rangers scored two. One of them was in the 3-on-3 overtime thing. I'm not trying to discredit Swayman, and I'm not trying to discredit Shesterkin, because they made the saves that they had to make. I can't remember a really great save, like a high danger scoring chance either team had. That was such a bleh game. Shots ended up being pretty good. Like, shots were 30. How did the Rangers get 33 shots in that game? That is... Okay, so both teams get through the first period scoreless, and yeah, you could kind of tell that they both had been pretty snake-bitten from the last time they faced each other and weren't going to get caught with their pants down for 7 goals against. So they played a very locked-up game. Then you go to the second period, Boston gets on the board first, supposedly, with a Trent Frederick goal. And it's a good feed from Van Riemsdyk, and Trent Frederick finishing his rebound after pushing the leg pad of Igor Shesterkin past the goal line. And it wasn't that he muscled the goal and the puck through the goal line. He just saw the rebound on Shesterkin's pad, shoved his pad into the net, and then collected the rebound. I don't know how that wasn't called back, but it wasn't. I'm not even going to give Shesterkin a hard time for that. Like, what would you like him to do? He was interfered with. If only there was a thing in the rule book for, like, if a goalie gets interfered with. If only there was a thing in the rule book for if a goalie... Like, for the first 50 minutes of the game, that was the only goal. You want to know how boring this game was for a long time? Jacob Trouba and Trent Frederick, the heavyweights for both teams, got into a fight and it stunk. It wasn't even that one player really got good hits on the other one. Frederick landed more hits than Trouba. Like, he probably won the fight. I'm not going to deny that. But it didn't end because Trouba got beaten to submission. He just slipped going for a punch and then fell to the ice. Like, this game was just boring as hell. Get out. That is until David Pastrnak decided, hey, what if I tried to murder Ryan Lindgren? So yeah, David Pastrnak laid a hit on Ryan Lindgren. And the first one was clean, and then he did a second one towards the end of the second period. And it wasn't clean. Even a little bit. That's the most blatant boarding I've seen in a hot minute. That's got to be a suspension, right? I mean, that is wild. And they showed in the broadcast that both of those players had obviously been on each other's radars, and Pastrnak took it way past the line. I don't think I'm being out there or a Homer Rangers guy when I say, yeah, that needs to be a suspension. That was absurd, and I think the 5 minutes was justified. I'm a little irritated that Panarin got anything for the retaliation of, hey, you just tried to murder my teammate. Why don't you not do that again? And just kind of forcefully hugged him. Don't think that should have been 2, but whatever. It was 2. Thankfully, that didn't end up biting the Rangers, losing 2 minutes of that 5-minute major. They did nothing with said 5-minute major, by the way. And they did nothing for a while until it was halfway through the third period. They waste the 3 minutes that they actually had off the 5-minute major power play. They would waste one power play early in the third period, and then they finally got another one about halfway through the third, and then I guess they just decided, hey, maybe shooting the puck is a solid idea. Fox to Mika, beautiful centering pass for Vincent Trocheck, fires, scores, and ties the game up at 1. The Rangers had another power play in the third period, but they couldn't take the lead in the third period. They end up going to overtime. The Boston crowd, as the Rangers continue to just toy with them in their zone, begins to boo the Rangers. And then they just said, yeah, all right, we'll take one more shot. Beautiful pass from Artemi Panarin over to Vincent Trocheck, sends it home, and the Rangers win in overtime off of 2 goals from Vincent Trocheck. I'm sorry, I'm not proud of this, but I had to do it. So now the Rangers leave the first 2 games against the Bruins with a pair of wins, the first of which was in Madison in this weird, dominant, barn-burning, sloppy 7-4 game, and now this game in Boston where they just kind of out-turtle them to a victory. So now the Rangers with a pair of wins, including one against the big, bad Boston Bruins, with a game where Shesterkin only gets beat once and he can kind of not feel too terrible about it. Get an extra day off before going to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. That'll be Tuesday night, once again in Toronto at 7 o'clock. And I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Rangers.